Hello, hello. So, the Lord is showing me a very specific situation, okay? Sorry, I just need to take a nice, long sigh, deep breath because this is drama. So, I just need to, prepare myself for this. Okay, this is very messy, and so I'm going to try my best to explain it. So, this is a very specific message, and for some of you, okay, this person may have been your kingdom spouse. This is for a female dealing with a male. However, if you listen to this message and you're a male dealing with a female, this message could possibly resonate for you too, okay? But the Lord was showing me these specific characters where this is a female who has a male counterpart kingdom spouse who has another female counterpart spouse, okay? Now, this person, we're on the fence. They could be your kingdom spouse, like you could be theirs and they could be yours, but if that's the case, they need a lot more work and they're still not there yet. And this work could take years, okay? In some cases, it might not take that long. So in some of y'all's cases, this is your spouse, okay? But for others of you all, this is not your spouse. But again, I'll get into the details. The Lord was showing me that whether you realize it or not, you have been being attacked on both sides. You are the third party. Even if you're technically not the third party, you are the third party because this other person, like I said, it's confusing to try to convey, but there's this man and this man has a partner. This female partner feels like this man is her partner and this male feels like this is their partner. Like these are each other's partners, okay? If this man starts to date you or someone else, this female gets jealous. If this female goes and dates someone else, this male gets jealous, okay? But this male has history with you as well. They have unfinished business history with this female, but they also have unfinished business history with you. You, as much as you are aware of this female is also just as much aware of you. Whether you've met this female or not, talked to this female or not, you are aware of this female's existence, and this female is also equally aware of your existence, okay? This male couldn't commit to you in the past for several reasons, because this male is non-committal, and it's to do with their, wounding and trauma and all this different stuff that they have. They have a bunch of baggage and emotional wounds, right? And it causes them to not be able to, they have rejection wounds, abandonment wounds, things like this. And so no matter what relationship they've been with romantically, it hasn't worked out. Even if they maybe have, engaged with someone, gotten proposed, gotten engaged, or, married someone, or had kids with someone, dated someone for years, had a lot of torrid history, it doesn't matter. This male has their own issues. This male needs severe healing, okay? In some of y'all's cases, this male has been healing, but it's a slow go, okay? In others of y'all's cases, this male has not been healing, and I feel like the healing is going to make or break it. If this male has been healing and they are on track to be something someday, then this very well could end up in the future being your kingdom spouse, okay? But I also, by the same token, feel like if this male doesn't do any healing and continues to just spiral, go round and round in circles and ultimately spiral down, they don't become much. I always say sink or swim, right? If they swim, they could be your spouse. If they sink, they're not. Then they're going to be given over to the counterfeit pile, okay? And then you're going to either stay single or go on to find someone else, okay? It'll literally be like that. It's not even up to you or this other female. This other female could be doing things currently or in the past and currently has either been or is doing things to try to cause troubles and upsets for this man and for you all together, okay? Because this female is jealous of this male. This female does not like you. This female is jealous and insecure of you. They've went to all the lengths to try to upheaval this male in regards to you, how they look at you and see you and feel about you, and also how you look at and feel about this male, and also y'all's relationship together. There is no stone that this female won't turn over to try to cause discord for this male when it comes to you, or you when it comes to this male, or for the two of you, okay? They have spent literally 90% of their time trying to upset this and railroad it and derail it and delay it and distract it and do all this stuff, right? So it's hard to say. If this female wasn't in the picture, perhaps you and this male would be together by now. Maybe this male would be more healed. But we also can't say that either, because perhaps whether this female was doing stuff or not, this male, because this male is so badly unhealed that we can pin it all on the male, but we can also pin it all on the female. But we can also, it's just a mess. Okay, it's just a mess. And so, but this female is guilty of trying to do things to uproot and upheaval things for you and this male, okay, this spouse. But even if this female didn't do a thing, like kept her mouth shut and her hands closed, this male, there would still be issues despite anyways, because this male has issues. Because this male has issues with everyone that they date. You, yes, but also this other female. So even if you weren't in the picture at all whatsoever, there would still be issues between this female and this male. Because this male, all on their own, has these unhealed wounds issues, okay? This male could have either by free will chose to run back to this female, even though this female's toxic and their dynamic is toxic. This male doesn't care, because this male, in essence, just themselves, is toxic. So whether they're with you or this female or Mother Teresa, the situation will be toxic, right? Because of this male's unhealed wounds, right? So, but whether this male ran back to this female because this male wanted to, or there was some reason, like, money, children, marriage, whatever the situation is, okay? Or if this male didn't really want to go back to this female, but this female did something, because like I said already earlier, she will stop at nothing to try to uproot this, okay? So she could have been doing something, so it could be a combination of both, where aside from whatever she was doing, this male by their own volition chose to go back, like leave you in the dust to go back to this female, okay? But it could also be, too, that it wasn't all just this male. This female could have said or did anything, whether this male is aware of it or not, like whether this male is conscious of it or unconscious of it. This female could have done things to try to instigate for this male to come to them, okay? So whichever way, or it's either all his fault or it's all her fault or both of their fault, right? Either way, this could have happened. This induced a separation between you and this male. You carried on with your life. This is for you, chosen one, okay? You carried on with your life. You continue to move forward, to heal, to carry on, all this kind of stuff, and leave them to it, okay? This male and this female were, like, so-called back together, okay? But even while this male and this female were back together, things were still not good. They were toxic, because this female is toxic on her own, and this male is toxic on his own, and so together they're just double toxic, right? And so there was still issues between these two. So whether you're in the mix or not, they still have, like, everything is all messed up, okay? Because of this male, okay? So what could be, that could be past situation, but what could be presently happening or in the future is that this male wants to come back to you. Now, on one hand, yes, it can be that this male misses you and its feelings and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility, okay? But what it could also be is because this male, there's several factors here. This male could know that this female has done things against you or wants to or would or something. Like, this male knows what this female is capable of. This male could want to get back at this female, and so therefore is only coming back to you to get under this female's skin. The Lord is saying in the past that this is fitting for you. In the past, this male knows how this female is, and this male, whenever this male was upset with you because you wouldn't maybe be sexual with them, or you wouldn't, like, put them first and foremost because they're very like egotistical, selfish, and controlling. Okay, these are parts of these unhealed wounds that they need to heal. When they were operating out of this, the Lord just said toxic masculinity, hallelujah. When they were operating out of this toxic masculinity where they were like in this pride and selfishness and ego and arrogance and controllingness and narcissistic, blah, 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 they could have purposely like been away to you, which you, because you're divine, right? And you know your worth, you told them to basically go kick rocks, right? And because you did that, they were upset with you. And because they're toxic, they purposely went back to this female and tried to like say or do something intentionally to get under her skin, knowing that that would fire her up to come against you. And so the Lord is showing me where this male has basically, he's been guilty of in the past of pitting you two females against each other, where he's tried to stir up jealousy in you by running to this female to get you under his thumb, right? To get a reaction out of you or get you under his control or something, which is extremely toxic. But that was of no fault of yours, whether it was made to be out like your fault or not. The truth is it wasn't your fault. Like you weren't trying to instigate anything. It was this male. So like it could have been where like, say for instance, I'll give you an example. Say this male is hanging out with you and this male wants to like get physical, like get intimate. And you tell this male, no, I don't want to be physical or intimate with you. They play it off like, okay, fine, be that way then. But they're truthfully, because they have rejection and abandonment wounds, this triggers their rejection wounds that they need to work on because they're unhealed. And then they're upset with you because they have a huge ego. How dare you tell them no, right? But they play it cool. So you think everything's fine. You're like, okay, great. You know, at least they listen to me. And you carry on with life, so do they. But then when they're in vicinity with this other female, they're like, oh, yeah, we hook up all the time. Oh, yeah, the chosen one's just so intimate with me, da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? When that's not true. Like they purposely either lied outright or spun a tale or a yarn or something to get a fire going on this female because they know what kinds of low down dirty things that this female will do. And they also know that this female is insecure and jealous and stuff of you already. So all they have to do is just like literally like they could go and buy a pony, like a hair tie, a scrunchie from the dollar store and leave it on their pillow. And then it's a total setup. And then this other female would come in the room and say, you had a girl here, and start freaking out and flipping out, right? And then either this male would allude that it was you, or this female would allude that it was you, and this male would like laugh it off or like joke, like, you know what I'm saying? Some innuendo that made it seem like it was your hair tie, your ponytail, but it was not you. You literally hadn't talked to this guy in like, say, weeks or months, right? But like, you see what I'm trying to say? Then all of a sudden it gets this third, I was just going to say third party, well, whatever, you know what I'm saying? This third party female all worked up, and then next thing you know, they're like bowing down to whatever this male said because they don't want to lose this male to you, right? Even though the truth is you haven't talked to this male in weeks, you did not give up any sexual energy to this male the last time you saw them, whatever else. What they're trying to do is not true, but they know that this other female is a type of way and is, like the Lord's saying, hot-headed. This female's like hot-headed and is jealous of you already, right? So they purposely are triggering their insecurities because in this toxic masculine's mind, this is effective in two ways. Is that one, it gets this third-party female's attention on them because this toxic masculine wants to control somebody and they can't control you, right? It's part of their wounds. So they want to then, by default, control this other female, this other third-party female. But this third-party female isn't letting them control them. But all they have to do is drop the hot button topic, which is you, and then all of a sudden this female will be like more submissive to this male because this female is nervous and scared that they're going to lose this male to you, right? But the truth of the matter is this male is purposely trying to set this female up to feel like that. because they need to work out of their own wounding. They just have to control someone. They have to control someone. And they can't control you, so by default, they're going to control this female. When them and this female are on the rocks and this female isn't around, then that is when you hear from this toxic male, because he can't control her, so then he comes back to you to try and control you. Because this male has a problem where they have like wounds, and one of the wounds is control, okay? So they feel this need to be in control, and it's in a toxic, aggressive way. It's not in a normal, healthy, proactive way, okay? So ideally, what this male wants is this male wants to have you under their one thumb and this other female under their other thumb. They want both you and this female to just do their bidding and be at their beck and call. And if this male ditches you for this female, that's fine. You're okay with it, and vice versa. If this male ditches this female for you, you're okay with it. Almost like sister wives. That's what this male wants you and this female to do. But there is no way that's going to happen and this toxic male knows it, because this female is way too aggressive and hot-headed and trigger jealous when it comes to you. Like, you're a trigger for this, a hot button for this female, okay? And then with you, it's not that you're all that, but you love yourself too much and you value yourself too much, plus you're celibate, that you're not about to go sell yourself out for not only this toxic male, but any third-party type of situations, right? You'd rather just stay single. So that potential outcome is impossible. There is no way, the Lord's saying on God's green earth, hallelujah, on God's green earth, that this toxic male is going to get you to be submissive and go with the okie doke and under their thumb, and same with this female. This toxic male knows that, because this male has already tried that in the past. They've already done things to experiment, to toy around with it, and they know it ain't happening on her side and it ain't happening on your side, okay? So instead, but because they have these unhealed wounds, they won't drop you completely, and they won't drop this other toxic female completely either, right? They won't completely drop either of you. So what they do instead, because they're unhealed and they're toxic, right, is they try to pit you two against each other. Sometimes they do this intentionally, like on purpose. Other times they do it unintentionally. It just happens. And so, like I said, I already listed a couple examples, but that's what they try to do, is they will resort to like lying and instigating, and they know they have enough history with this toxic female that they know what kinds of things that they can say and do to get this toxic female going, okay? This they feel is effective because they can't control you and they can't control this third party. So if they do this, then they find that this third party submits to them and is a little more available to them. And then they get more of an upper hand with this third party when they bring you up or insinuate something to do with you specifically, okay? But even if you're not in the picture around, if this male was to be around, like if there was some other lady that this male was seeing besides yourself, this female would feel the same exact way. This female has issues, and so does this male, right? And so they're using you as like the third party in between, right? And so, yeah, so that's one thing. The second thing is that this male uses this female to punish you, okay? Because like I said, so say the scenario goes, this is the wheels of this toxic male, this narcissist turning as they think, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. I asked the chosen one to be intimate. They didn't want to be intimate. They shut it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave and then go call up this toxic third party. I'm going to insinuate that I had just the best time with the chosen one, and that, they're all into me. The chosen one's all into me. I got them, hanging off my every word. This is then going to get this toxic female aroused and, focus, like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to get them, light a fire under them, like get them going. And then they're going to submit to me and focus on me, and I'm going to be able to take control, because we know narcissists want supply, right? I'm going to get a dose of supply. Plus, it's a win-win process. It's a twofold win, because then the second part of it is that then this toxic female is going to go after, whether it's physically, spiritually, or both, go after this chosen one. And so here you have been, this has already happened, chosen one, you have been attacked spiritually from this toxic female, innocently, where you didn't even do anything. This male insinuated or outright lied to this toxic female about A, B, C, D, E. And because this male lied or insinuated or implied something that wasn't true or accurate, this female went and sent like spiritual attacks against you, magic, whatever it may be, right? Went and gossiped about you, you know, whatever. Because this toxic female is unhealed as well. They have issues that they need to work through too, okay? It's control issues with control with this female and issues with control with this male. And so this male feels happy because he turns it into a win-win for him. If you give him the loving he wants, then he wins, right? That's what he wanted. And even if you give him the loving, you're still up for trouble, because then he will genuinely go back to this female and make it like you gave him loving, and then now she's mad for real because you genuinely gave him loving, right? And he could even like show her texts or like leave his phone open on purpose so she could see a text. Like he could purposely line the you know, all the stars up so that it shows off a certain thing to her just to get her goat, right? This is something that this toxic male either has done in the past or will do in the future, okay? Because this male hasn't healed. Now, like I said, in some of y'all's cases, this male is going to heal eventually, and this could really genuinely be your kingdom spouse, okay? But in other of y'all's cases, this male is not healing, and even if they are, it's at too slow of a rate, and you've grown so much that you've risen above all of this, okay? And so that's why when you guys went into separation, you were just fine with it and carried on with your life. You are not guilty of anything. Like, you could literally like talk to this male, say once a month. Just say once a month. This male will make it out to this toxic female like you and them talk like once a day. Or at least once a week. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's not true. Like, I haven't talked to him in like a month or two, or if we did talk, we only talked for like 5 minutes 3 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like very minimum. It's like minimum. But this male has made it out in some way, shape, or form, whether intentionally or unintentionally or both, to this female, like that you and this male have a lot more, like they allude that there's a lot more than it appears to this third party, okay? This then gets this third party, if this third party is like dating someone or something like that, it gets this third party to submit or focus more on this toxic male. And then this toxic male is happy because they're getting supply. And because they know the truth of it is you aren't giving them supply. So they got to get supply from somewhere. If you're not giving it and this toxic third party is not giving it, they're not getting it from anywhere. And then if they go out and find another female, this toxic third party gets aroused and gets, you know, gives them some supply, but not in the fashion that this third party gives supply when it comes to you. This toxic male has orchestrated things to the point that this toxic male in the past has been able to leverage many things with this toxic third party by just off of you, okay? Just by the mere mention of you, or insinuating that they saw you or that they're going to see you or something like that. But the truth of it is that you're not looking for this male. You're not waiting for this male. You're not anything with this male. If this male comes, great. If they leave, great. You could take or leave it. You really, truly don't really care. You know what I mean? But they make it seem like as if there's more than it really is, okay? And so then they get a rise out of this third party. And this is the thing, is that if you don't give this toxic male what they want, they're going to punish you. And so they use you to punish this third party by getting a reaction or a rise out of this third party. Then they also know that because this third party has these unhealed wounds and they're trigger happy themselves, and you're a hot button word, that if they bring you up one way or another, insinuate that immediately with the Lord is saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Hallelujah. This toxic male knows that this third party brings hell if this third party feels scorned. And so the Lord is showing me a vision right now of like two cats fighting, and then this toxic male is sitting in a long lawn chair watching this, eating popcorn. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this toxic male sitting in a lawn chair eating popcorn while these two alley cats fight. And this toxic male feels very satisfied because you're not fighting or attacking this male or this third party, but you're not gonna like back down either, right? And it's because of the fact that you love and value yourself, right? And because this third party is such like an aggressor, right? And this toxic male knows it. If you don't give this male something, whatever it may be, or you upset them in one way, shape, or form, they will purposely go and push a bunch of different buttons, special buttons on this third party to get this third party to send their wrath. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, to send their wrath and fury against you. And then you're having to be attacked and deal with this for nothing. Meanwhile, you haven't talked to this toxic male in like 3 weeks, maybe 2 months. You're not even bothering with him or her. They're not even on your radar. But here you are going through attack after attack after attack because this toxic male has lied to both you and this third party and made this third party believe that there's more going on with you than there is, or there's more going on with you and this toxic male than there is. And then because this toxic female comes at you, then you don't stand for it, and God has your back, right? Especially because you haven't done anything wrong. So then God fights back on your behalf, and so then you take a whooping from this third party, and then this third party takes a whooping from God. And so do you get it? And so meanwhile, this male is the one that instigated and started everything. This male made it seem to this third party like you had poured a water on their head, like a water bottle on their head, but in actuality you didn't do it. It was actually the male that did it. But this male knows this female well enough as to what to say and do to make this female believe A, B, C, D, E. So, and they know that this female is very toxic and aggressive, so then, and how this female operates. So then this female obviously comes at you just like the male knew that this female would. And then this female knows that if they come at you, that God's gonna avenge you, right? And so then God does come and pour a water bottle on their head on behalf of you, but it wasn't you, it was God. And then they're upset that water got dumped on their head, and they think it was you because it came from your side, but it wasn't you, it was God doing it for you to protect you, because this, unbeknownst to you, this toxic female was attacking you incorrectly in the first place. And then this male is laughing because you got water thrown at you from this toxic female, and then this toxic female got water thrown at them from God. And then you end up half wet, and this third party ends up half wet, and the male started this whole thing. And they're over on the sidelines dry laughing, eating their popcorn, okay? And so they feel like this is a win-win because how dare the third party upset them? The third party should have been more submissive, should have done A, B, C, D, E, and this third party didn't do it. This third party didn't do it because this third party is unhealed. The fact that this male expects these tall orders in the first place is because they themselves are unhealed. You're the only healed one in this situation. And because you're healed, you have no parts of it. You have nothing to do with it. You're literally over on the sidelines drinking your water, watching TV. But because this male is starting up fires, they go blow to blow with this third party, and you have no part of it. But this third party doesn't necessarily know that. And so then this third party comes at you, and then they receive the wrath of God, and then this male gets off scot-free. And so this is why, one of the reasons why God separated you from this male and doesn't want you entertaining this male is because this is how this male operates. So I'm here to tell you, like, a bunch of your attacks, if this message resonates for you, a bunch of your attacks from this third party aren't just because this third party's crazy, right? That's part of it, don't get me wrong, but it's also because this male went and instigated and implied and and alluded this and alluded that to this third party on purpose to ruffle this third party's feathers and also get this third party to come guns blazing for you, so that you both are kind of in each other's crosshairs. But meanwhile, it was this male that was setting everything up. So you are like the third party from this male to this female, and then you are the third party from this female to this male. So you're actually not the third party, and you don't want to be the third party, but this male has pitted you and this female against each other to where you're in the picture. And again, like I said, this message is for women specifically, but if you are a man listening to this and you resonate with these same dynamics with, changing the gender roles, then it's for you as well. But this is what the Lord was showing me, okay? So that's been a lot of the past energy. And so this is why this toxic female doesn't like you so much. They haven't liked you from the beginning because of relation to this toxic male. But they don't like you even more now because when they come against you, when they try to get a lick at you, they get licked back twice. So they send a lick at you, and in return, in retaliation, they get 2 back. And so it's made this third party believe that you're doing something to cause this to happen. They think that you're pulling all the strings, like that you're all into this male, you're seeing this male, there's more going on than they're aware of. That kind of what's going on with this third party, this toxic female and male, is what's actually going on with you and this male. That's what they think from their perspective, right? But the truth is, you're not doing anything with this male. You aren't interested. You don't want to be a part of no third party. If they are together, great. If they're not together, great. Like, you honestly aren't losing sleep either way, right? And if you do entertain this male at all, it's because this male came barking on your step, right? Not the other way around. But this female may not know that. And even if they do, they may not know all the nuances, right? Because this male has been very good at trying to play games. So this male has played games with you when it comes to this female, but this male has also played games with this female when it comes to you. And made this female look like the bad guy to you, and made you look like the bad guy to this female. When I'm not excusing this female, right? Because this female does have their own issues, right? That they need to work out and heal amongst themselves. But this female needs to point their finger more at this male and less at you, because this male is pulling the same game on them that they were pulling on you. And so if this toxic female is aware of some sort of gameplay that this male did with you, but they thought they got off scot-free, they're sadly mistaken. This male is unhealed. Like, say your name is, I'm just going to say example. Say your name is Janie and this female's name is Tammy. Just say for instance, okay? This is what this male is doing with Janie and Tammy. But it doesn't matter. You can, if you weren't you, Janie, and you were instead Stacy, and this other female wasn't Tammy, and this female was instead Jenny, and now you're now Jenny and Stacy, the same thing would happen. It's not exclusive or specific to you and this toxic female. This is what this male does with any female. Because this is this male's problem, is that this male can't settle down with anybody. No matter who they date or whatever, there's going to be this problem. And because they have a history with both this female and or you, it could be this male could have history with both you and this female, or just with this female, or just with you, or put it where it fits. But I'm getting that in a lot of y'all's cases, this male has history with both this female and with yourself. And this is intentional. So this male still steps out with other females, right? This male plays the field when it comes to you and to this toxic female. They're not committed to you. They're not committed to this female. They're not committed to anybody, because this is one of their issues, right? And so in the past, this male was making you believe that it was all this third party it was all this third party's fault because of A, B, C, D, E. And technically they were half right. It was this third party doing a lot of stuff towards you. But one of the biggest reasons why this third party was doing A, B, C, D, E towards you was because this male had set the tone and situation up to make it appear that way. So basically was sicking this female on you intentionally without you even having a clue. And you're sitting here thinking she's crazy and putting all the blame on her and letting the male go free. But when it was really her, she's guilty of what she does, yes, but it's also him setting the picture up in the first place. You see what I mean? And then same thing goes. This female has been attacked unabashedly by God. Not by you, but by God. Because this male knows that you're not that type. this male knows that you're not the type that's aggressive, hot-headed, you don't send things, you don't do things, you keep to yourself, you mind your business, you're a righteous person. This male knows that. But this male may have tried to make it out to this toxic female like you're not like that. But you actually are. You know what I mean? And so this female could think that you're wicked, but you're not. But one of the reasons why this female thinks you're wicked is because this male has sold that assumption to this female about you, right? And made this female believe that you're doing stuff that you're not, and that so when this female gets hit back, they attack you and they get hit back, they think it's you hitting them back, like wicked versus wicked, right? But actually you don't hit back, and because you don't, God hits back for you. So there is a tit for tat back and forth where this female attacks you and they get attacked back, but it's not from you. Even though it comes off like that, it's actually from God. And the reason why God is standing up for you is because you're innocent. You aren't doing anything. You are not meddling in their relationship, nothing. You are not wicked. You are actually truly who you say you are. You are genuinely a good, righteous child of God, right? And you're just as much dealing with this male's toxicity as this female is. And so then you end up being attacked by the female, and the female ends up being attacked by God. And then it just keeps going and going and going and going. This female gets attacked by God. They think it was you, so they launch a double attack. Because this female launched a double attack wrongly because you're innocent, then God launches a third attack back. Because they think you launched a third attack back in retaliation, then they launch a fourth attack. And because they launched a fourth attack, God sends back a fourth attack. You see? Okay? And so where we're at now is that in some of y'all's cases, this male has healed. And because of that, they see how toxic that this female is. And perhaps whether you're in the picture or not, this male wants to be away from this female. Okay? And so now this female is scared and attacking you like crazy because this female believes that the first place this male is going to go when gone is to you. And they're half right, because this male is fixing to come to you. But this male isn't fixing to come to you necessarily because it's all love and hearts and rainbows and butterflies. They're fixing to come to you because things have been an uproar for them ever since they did you dirty. But the reason why things have been in an uproar for them ever since they did you dirty was because what they did to you, God knows that they were the instigator. Even though this female may not have known all the details and you didn't know all the details, God did. And he knew that what this toxic male did was wrong towards you and this toxic female. So God put this male under wrath. And ever since this male has been under wrath, aka separated from you, it's been nonstop trouble for them. They have associated that things were better with you and worse with this third party, which they're correct, that's true. But the reason why things were better with you and worse with this third party is because ever since they dogged you out, they have been under God's wrath. And so now what they want to do is, for some of them, they want to get away from this third party because they've healed, and to a degree, not fully, right? Not fully, but they've healed enough to where they see the righteous person that you are. Like they see things a lot more properly now than they did, like accurately than they did in the past. And so they genuinely want to come towards you, okay? But the Lord is saying that this toxic male is still a toxic male. Even if they're going to possibly be your kingdom spouse one day, even if that is all in effect, they're not there yet. Even if they're not as toxic as they were in the past, they're still toxic. And so it'd be in your best interest to stay away from this toxic male, whether they're supposed to be your spouse or not, because they're not fully there yet. It's like chicken, you don't want to eat chicken when it's half cooked. It's risky, right? You should put it in the oven and wait 20 more minutes till it's all the way done. If anything, overdone, just to be on the safe side, okay? That's the thing, is that's what this is like. This spouse is not fully all the way there yet. And they very well could be just coming to you temporarily, whether they mean to or not, to get a reaction and rise out of this third party like they've done before, because they know that if they come to you, this third party is going to cut off their third party, because perhaps this third party has a third party, right? Or this third party is going to bow down to them, because at the end of the day, this toxic male wants supply and they want to control. and they're not getting supply from you anymore, and they're not getting to control you anymore, and so therefore you're like a dead end to them. Okay, you're like the Lord's saying a cold fish, like you're a dead end. Okay, but at the same time, they know that when they were with you, things were better, and that you have a strong anointing and protection on you that can cover and protect them from this toxic third party. These two aren't meant to be, but in a roundabout way they kind of are, because this female receiving this toxic male's toxicity is showing this female what it's really like, and vice versa. This toxic male receiving this toxic female's toxicity is showing this toxic male what it's really like. They're tasting, they give off bitter medicine, okay, and they're getting a taste of their own bitter medicine when they deal with each other. So this female is seeing what it's like, and so is this male, because they're one and the same. But they're not meant to be together, because I've talked about this before, where it's just double negative, right? One negative plus another negative equals just two negatives. So in this current state, they're not meant to be together. But when this third party female runs off, like leaves this male or runs off with someone else, this third party gets worried or jealous that this toxic male is going to come back to you, or come back to any female, but in you in particular. Or this toxic male gets jealous of this third party female running off with another third party, like another man, okay? And it's because they have a toxic situation. They always have. However long it's been for them, it's been toxic. She's been toxic to him, he's been toxic to her, and their relationship is toxic. But he doesn't want her to be out of, like, you could take it as that he doesn't want her to be with somebody else, but it's not even that. It's not, honestly, he really truly doesn't care if she's with someone else. Even if he makes it like he does, what bothers him is he doesn't like that he doesn't have a supply, because he's a narcissist, because he's toxic and unhealed, right? He doesn't have anyone he can control. He doesn't have anyone submitting to him. And so he doesn't like that there's a form of supply. He's not getting supply from you, and so he defaults to get supply from this toxic female. And if this toxic female is laser focused on him, then he can get some supply, right? But if this toxic female is distracted with A, B, C, D, E, then this toxic male gets all up in, gets just as trigger happy as this female does in regards to you. And the reason why is because they have wounds. And so this toxic female is insecure and jealous, and they need to work through that, because they think the problem is you, but it's not you. I already said this. You're you, but you could be Jenny, Tracy, Stacy, Tammy, and this third party is going to have a problem. Now, they have the biggest problem with you because they know that, I don't know what all they know, but they know that you and this toxic male have some sort of history together, and this toxic male has also used you as to the advantage to pit against this third party. So this female would rather have this male entertain 5 other females in one night than spend an hour with you, okay? And this male knows it, so he purposely plays with that and uses it to his advantage, okay? And then, so this, so this male could have healed, I already said that, or this male is not healed and wants to come towards you temporarily to use you, okay? And also as a form of protection from this third party, because when you were dealing with this male in the past, this male was dealing with this female. This male was 2-timing you and this female with each other. Like, the male 2-timed you with this female, and the male 2-timed this female with you, okay? But you were a source of protection for this male. And ever since this male did you and this female dirty, but in particular you, and you turned your back on them, they lost favor and protection. And so they were literally dealing with this third party like they always had been, but now it's with no protection, no covering, right? And this third party is just as toxic as they are, if not more so. And so they feel like if they come towards you, that it's a win-win-win, because they're not getting a very good supply from this toxic third party. So they think that they want to take a chance or a run at getting some supply from you, which they would consider to be a more substantial supply than this third party, okay? also, they can get this third party's attention. One of the reasons why there's so much uproar and upheaval between the two of them is because you've been off the scene for so long. In the past, maybe you would go back and forth with this male, and that was intentional because this male couldn't keep you around for the long haul because of this female. For two reasons. This male had these wounds, and this male had this female in the background, okay, who wouldn't allow it. But this male had used you in the past long enough for beneficial so that they could receive your protection, your grace, and favor, right? For one. And for two, also get under the skin effectively of this third party, because if you're not communicating with this male, it's pretty hard for this male to get this third party's goat about you, because where's the proof and evidence, right? But when there's an exchange between you and this male can use that to their advantage with this third party, and that's exactly what they've done. And so at this point in time, maybe this toxic female has somebody else, and this male feels perturbed, so this male wants to use you to get back at this third party, like an eye for an eye, right? Or this third party is, in some cases, this male is healed, and this male can see how messed up this third party is, and so now this male wants to run for cover, so to speak, from you, like, protect me from the big bad wolf kind of a thing, right? But why would a female protect a male? Like, let's just think about that for a second, right? Like, that's toxic in and of itself. The female goes to the male for protection, not the male going to the female. If this male needs protection so bad, they need to go to God, right? And so that could be it, where they want you to, like, spread your protection, grace covering over them like a shield, like you have in the past. Or third, they want to upset this third party, and by the same token, uprise things for you, right? Like, they think you're too at peace, you're too chill. They want things to get all frazzled for you, so they want to purposely sick this third party on you. And as we speak, you don't have any exchange with this male because you've been keeping your distance, so this male has ran out of, like, evidence, so to speak, of you, okay? So they want to try to, I hope it's making sense, okay? It's just so toxic and messed up, right? But these are some of the things. In some of y'all's cases, this male does miss you and love you and want to be with you, but even if that is the case, it is not possible at this time, because they don't have a covering from God. They need to get straight with God, and they also still have these unhealed wounds. Even if there has been some healing done, it hasn't been in completion, right? Plus, they still have this third party in the background one way or another, and you know, and this male knows that this third party has their sights set out for you because they feel scorned. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. They feel scorned from this male when it comes to you, okay? So, Lord have mercy. So, the conclusion is, I would stay away from this male. Chances are good you've probably been staying away from this male. Consider this message as an update on this dynamic if this message is for you. This message is not for everybody. This message is very specific, okay? You'll know if it's for you by these very specific details, right? If this is for you, I would stay away from this male. That's the advice from the Lord. Maybe not forever, but until you hear from the Lord or myself, if the Lord sends me with an update, okay? Until the timing is right, because it's not. Whether it's a little malicious or a lot malicious, this male has an agenda, and it's not necessarily because all you or this third party. It's because they have unhealed wounds. So either they haven't healed at all, or they've barely healed, or at a slow rate, or something like that, and you are way past this already. Like, this is so beneath you. And it doesn't mean you're so great and awesome. It's just you've risen and elevated so much. Like, it's like you were above this, a long time ago, and you're 10 times above this today, right? If it didn't serve you in the past, why would it serve you now? It sounds just as toxic. I mean, it was very draining just to, receive this information and to try to explain it. And to be honest, I feel like I didn't explain it sufficiently. I feel like there's still, more convoluted, muddy, foggy mess here, but, this is good enough for now, because this is why I've said in the past, I made mention about like Maury or like Days of Our Lives or like something like that, because that's like the energy it gives me is like, it's like that, like just so toxic and messy and convoluted and like low down, and like, no, who's got time for that, right? So if this male is healing at all, then leave them to this situation, because they're going to heal through this situation. Even if it doesn't seem like it, they will, because you can still heal in adversity, right? It could also force them, because you're not there as their backup good luck charm, it could have to force their hand to go to God, which is ultimately what they need to do. They can't get supply or band-aids from you or this third party. They have to, and they know they can't get, like, they know that the whatever dynamic with this third party is like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, this is not putting out like it once did. And they're so desperate to get even just, the Lord is showing me right now being in the desert and just so desperate for a drop of water. You've been wandering in the desert for 3 days and you would do anything for a drink of water. That's how this male looks at you. Is like, they're like in a desert with this, and this third party is like a cactus. And there's no easy way to get some water in this situation, right? But then you're over there like a flowing like water fountain, right? And they want to come to you, and every time they come, they can't. There's like this impenetrable shield around you, and that's the Lord's protection. And this person needs to get on their knees and pray to God and say, please, God, let me have a drink of water. Please, please. Even if it's not from that beautiful, luscious water fountain over there, just let me have a drink from somewhere. I'm dying of thirst, right? That's what they need to do. They're stuck between what they think is a mirage, which is you and this fountain, and the Holy Spirit, and this cactus. And they've been wandering around the desert for 3 or 4 days, and they're down to like their last day on earth, right? And they need a drink so desperate. And so but if they come to you and get a drink of your fountain and they get their fill and they get replenished and rehydrated, they're just going to run right back over to this desert third party situation again anyways. You see what I'm saying? And so then you literally just got used temporarily to give this parched person a drink. But why they were parched in the first place was because they put themselves in that situation. And so God very well may be doing this on purpose to teach them to go to Him and Him only. The Lord is saying, I'm the living water. Hallelujah. The Lord is the living water, not you. You are living water, but why you have living water is because you're connected to the Lord. This male can get water, but they need to get it from the true source like you have, right? Not from someone else. And so that could be why the Lord is keeping this separation between you all, is because this situation I've explained is the Lord's way of teaching this toxic male a lesson for what they've done towards you and this third party, because it just wasn't right, trying to pitch y'all against each other and having this third party attack you when you haven't done anything wrong, and then the Lord and the angels got to go attack this third party on your behalf, and like, no, and then meanwhile, it's also teaching this third party too. They're learning about each other. This toxic male is learning about this female, and this female is learning about this toxic male, right? Through each other's actions. And that's something that needs to happen too. And you've always been aware of that. That's why you've kept your distance willingly. Like, you've willingly kept your distance. And yes, this third party has done things to create distance and separation between you and this male. But you willingly went along with it. Like, you willingly blocked this male in the past, or didn't answer this male's calls, or like told this male no, or like, you know what I mean? You willingly went along with the distance. And whether you wanted to or not, God created that because God was protecting you, right? And so this toxic male has to learn. And so either they're not learning at all and they won't learn and they're a counterfeit and they're meant for the burn pile, like I always say, or they are learning, it's just at a very slow rate, and the situation with them is accelerating, right? It's climaxing, and that's why this is all coming down like this. And the Lord's not done doing His work here. And I put out the message earlier today about work with the Babylonians, right? And so this male could be considered like a Babylonian, and so could this female. And this is the Lord's way of putting them through wrath and also working with them, because there's work to be done. Because they're basically a part of Babylon. He is and she is. And he's a Babylonian and she's a Babylonian. And so because of that, and the fact that they don't have a relationship with God, and he's trying to set attacks up against you, and she is attacking you, they are under God's wrath. And they're both being ran by a Jezebel spirit, by the way. They both are, him and her. Well, for men, we call it an Ahab spirit, because that was like Jezebel's counterpart. But Jezebel and Ahab, whatever you want to say, same thing, right? And so, like in the message I put out earlier, she's under wrath, he's under wrath, and they're under wrath together. And the Lord is chastising them. And this is why this female could be coming attacking you, and also this male could be trying to run to you for cover. But this is a part of the Lord's work, and he has work to do in her individual life and in his individual life, right? So it remains to be seen. In some of y'all's cases, this spouse, so I was just going to say, so this male may be your spouse and may end up becoming like leading up to your spouse, but it's not there right now today. Like November 4th, 2025, it's not there today. Maybe next week different, maybe next month, maybe next year different, but right now that's not where it's at. So the Lord's advising you to kind of keep your distance and stay away for right now, because whether this male has good intentions or not, this female is scorned, and hell hath no fury like a female scorned. She's coming with fury, she's scorned, and she's being driven like a bat out of hell, okay? And so whether you want his energy or not is irrelevant. You got hers coming up around the bend. So, no. And so she already has her sights set on you, so it's best to keep your distance. And so if this is not your spouse, then this male, then this is just an update of how things are. This message either bring you revelation and or confirmation. The Lord will take care of it. This male will fall to the wayside, just like, all the other counterfeits that you've experienced have. For others of you, if this is to be your spouse, they are a work in progress, and they're still going through the process. And whether they're prepared or not is irrelevant. They still have this third-party entanglement. And this third party in the past was coming at you an 8 out of 10, and now today they want to come at you a 12 out of 10. So it's just, whether that male means good or not, this female has, if their scorn level in the past was an 8 out of 10, their scorn level now is like a 12. So it's climaxed and escalated is what the Lord is saying, okay? So anyways, I'll be back if the Lord leads me to with anything else. As always, those who have ears to hear will hear, and you'll know if this message was for you. This message, again, I repeat, may not be for everybody, so don't put it on if it's not for you. And as always, take me and my messages and, any other prophetic message back to the Lord and make sure, because some of you all are waiting around for something that's not meant to be for you. Others of you are pushing away something and writing it off that is meant to be for you. So there's a little bit of, construing here, and it's like, that's why it's best to take it to the Lord and really find out, what's for you, what's not for you, and where you're at specifically, okay? So anyways, I will leave this message here. As always, I hope this finds you well. Take care, and God bless.